Hey everyone, it's me, Romie. This is a review for season 6 of Shameless, episode 1. The episode is titled, I Only Miss Her When I'm Breathing. And basically, of course, as we know, Frank lost the love of his life uh, last season, the end of last season, the doctor woman. And so uh, we start off the episode with Frank actually at her grave at the cemetery. And it's interesting because Frank is just so distraught. He's like, I'm in love, I miss her. I can't live without her type of thing. And it's just weird because normally Frank feels that way about drugs and alcohol. And so it's it's very odd. That's all I have to say. Very odd. But anyway, I'm so glad Shameless came back, by the way, just to put that out there, which we knew it would. But anyway, the main scene is really when Fiona wakes up in the morning and she wakes up to her friend, her older friend, who she works for at the diner, and everyone, for the most part, is in the house. Ian's back in the house, and Fiona's waking him up because he has to go to work because Ian is working at her job as well. You have, of course, baby Liam. She wakes him up, and Debbie, who is going through a rebellious phase because, ergo, Debbie's pregnant. No, she really is pregnant. So, she really is pregnant. And so, uh, we just have this weird scene because it's definitely going a lot faster than what we're used to, at least from what I remember. I mean, it just feels like it feels really real. It's like you're seeing it through the eyes of Fiona, where it's like getting this person up, getting that person up, doing this, doing that, 'cause early in the morning, just like how it is at most people's house. So after that, we have Frank come in, and here's Frank. Frank is like, "Oh, I love you, my child. I love you, my son. I love you, my daughter." And everyone's just looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Because we know Frank. Frank is not the lovey-dovey type, especially the lovey-dovey type of father. So it's just very odd. Very odd. I mean, this is so weird. Ugh. Something's just wrong with that. So, anyway, uh, they're actually gonna go and take Debbie, her and Fiona are going to parent, Planned Parenthood. Yeah, because Debbie is pregnant and Fiona wants to find out for sure. So the next scene is Liv with his professor, yeah, with his professor, and Lip is in love. He clearly is in love. He's all out in love, and she's just more like, yeah, we cool, we cool. And so the next scene is Debbie going to back to the doctor, and she doesn't want Fiona to come. Now we know why Debbie doesn't want Fiona to come, because she's gonna pull some BS, but we'll see. And their relationship is still strained. Uh, just to put that out there. So Kevin and V get woken up by do 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 ding 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 ding, and it's actually the two lesbians who are living across the street or down the street or on the block, and they're complaining because one of the neighbors, he's been fixing up his motorcycle, and the noise is ridiculous. But of course, when people do certain stuff in your neighborhood, not mine, but especially in like city urban areas, you get used to the noise very quickly. So Kevin's like, I'll take care of this because you don't know him. Things could get ugly real fast. So the next scene is actually one of my favorite scenes from the episode. It's Carl. He's in jail, well, in juvie, and it's time for him to go. He's getting out on good behavior. I know, it's very weird. Carl clearly uh, had a lot of fun in juvie and learned absolutely nothing, and is probably worse off for it. And so you just see him walking down the hallway and giving all his his new pals a high five, and then you see his cousin, I think technically cousin, because uh, yeah, his cousin, who, as we know, is pretending to be one of those like uh, skinheads who hate almost everyone type of thing, or racist towards almost everyone, and so he's still locked up in there. But it's just so funny because Carl has cornrows now, and yeah, yeah. It gets interesting a little bit later. So Debbie finds out she actually is pregnant. She finds out that she's pregnant, and it's messed up part is she tells Fiona that she's not pregnant. And we'll see how that ties in later. We go to the next scene, and it's actually Lip's professor, who he's actually Lip is a teacher's aide now at his college. And so, of course, he's covering for his professor because this professor is, I don't know if he's a full blown alcoholic or if he's going through a rough, I think he's an alcoholic. They were already joking about it before. But after that, we have the scene where Fiona's back at work, and so one of the new guys who's there, he may or may not be using, and we find out later that he actually isn't using, he's actually selling and distributing. But Ian, uh, you know, Ian's has to deal with Mikey's girl. No, sorry, Mickey's girlfriend, not girlfriend, baby mama, and because she's like, you know what, I want to see him, and the only way I'll see that him is if you're there with us, and so she's like, I'll pay you, whatever it is, I'll pay you, and so I think it's like 50, $100 or whatever, and it gets him to go, and so after that, we have Frank in the church because he wants to make a confession. He wants to make a confession, and it's really just he wants someone to hear his problems and his woes, and because no one's listening to him, because everyone's just through with Frank and with this whole situation. So actually, the father was just like, you know what, screw you, Frank, leave, type of thing, because I'm done with you. And you know that's pretty bad when a man of the cloth is done with you. And so we actually get to Kevin, who goes back to the guy. I forgot his name. I really forgot his name. But I mean, the guy's hilarious. I kind of hope that they incorporate him more into the season because he's basically like, screw those women. Actually, yeah, screw the women. They're clearly acting like women who've never had dick before. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're just gonna go there. All right. And he just revs up the bike and is like, you know what? I'm gonna make their life a living hell, type of thing. So then we actually get back to the house, the diner, and Fiona's boss slash boyfriend is saying how uh, he wants to offer her the management job. And so she's like, why would I want that, type of thing? And you have the woman who was there longer complaining, and it's like, well, I've been here longer, and so I should be entitled to get that position. And he's just like, well, you're not driven. Well, like, yeah, we haven't had sex, and I'm not blowing you off, so maybe that's why. But it's funny because you see the guy who was late the other day, and again, I told you that he was actually distributing. He was keeping it in the back of his toilet or whatever, and so he got found out, and it was so funny because the cops, he was trying to run through the store, no, run through the diner, and then the cops get him back outside, and they tackle him, throw him up against the glass, and there's blood and snot, and he tells Ian to clean it up. It's just like, wow, never a dull moment with them. Never a dull moment. And so Frank, he goes, there's this montage of him going to like religious every religion you can think of: Buddhism, uh, Hinduism. Is that similar? Of course, going to a synagogue. I mean, he goes everywhere. Anywhere he thinks that people will listen to him, complain about, not complain, but just hear his woes. And so, and no one's interested because it's Frank. And sorry about that, the machine's going off. Uh, yeah, and so Debbie is trying to talk with her boyfriend, well, boyfriend for now, because she's like, you know, since I really am pregnant, you have to come to Lamaze and all that. And he's like, yeah, sure, which we know is a brush off because he's actually gonna skip out. He's gonna tell his parents about the situation, and they're gonna move him to Florida, far away from her. And so then we get to the scene where Lip is actually taking over the class because the teacher's late, and he actually does a really good job. But there's this girl who's close to the front that's just like, "Do you want? Do you want?" And later on, of course, it happens anyway. But it's just like, again, never a dull moment. And so then they go back to the they go back to the bar scene where Frank is just there complaining, and he just wants someone to listen to them. And there's like some lumberjack hipsters there who basically, he thinks that they're listening to him, but they just want to take a selfie or an ussy. And it's just like, Frank's just like, oh yeah, and I love this woman, and they're like, cheese. It's like, but anyway, Fiona's boyfriend again talks to her about the management position. So there was that. It was like, what do you want from your life type of thing. Lip is back at school, and he finds out this kid plagiarized, and he essentially says, you know what? Why don't I give you a second chance? You go and redo this, and I'll just mark you down and letter grade. And he was like, thanks. And the teacher's like, so why did you go and give him a second chance to do all this thing? And he was like, well, I thought the kid just needed a break. I didn't feel like he was a bad kid. It's just like, you know what? Why not be a teacher? I know it's not glitz and glam and money, but you could be good at it. And so Debbie actually goes to the parent, Planned Parenthood, or whatever it's called, and she is in for a rude awakening because she finds out that, you know what? He's not coming. He's not coming. She doesn't know it yet, but he's not coming. And then another pivotal moment is Carl actually comes home, and Fiona is thrilled. She's so happy until she realizes things really haven't changed. He really hasn't changed for the better because he got home because the drug dealer that he was working with, because he didn't snitch, uh, took him back and made sure that he was good and protected. And of course, he's going to start working for him again. And she knows it in the back of her mind. And she's just like, yeah, so you want to do a party? Do you want to do this? And it's like, oh, it's really good to have you type of thing. But it's like, crap. As things changed, they stay the same type of thing. Pretty messed up. And it was funny because uh, he was actually greeted by Liam, and so he was like, yo, what up, my nigga? And I was like, what? But it was cute because Liam had the animal crackers, and he was like, cracker? So it was just, the timing was perfect, and clearly you could tell that that was a real moment between the actors where they were just like, the show type of thing. But anyway, uh, we get to the jail scene where Mickey is seeing his baby, and of course his baby mama, and he's talking with Ian, and Ian's just like, essentially, Mickey's like, are you gonna wait for me? Are you gonna wait for me? And Ian's like, 8 years? Am I gonna wait for you for 8 years type of thing? We'll see. We'll see. because that wasn't looking too good. And he actually got a tattoo of Ian, of course, with a dirty needle or whatever it was used, and it was infected, but it was with one L. Ian Gallagher with one L. So he was like, only Mickey type of thing. And so then we go back to the school where, what's his name? Where Lip is with his friend, his roommate or whatever, and the roommate's like, I know you're smashing the professor, but I don't think you know that she might have someone else. So you better watch out. And so that comes into play later. But Debbie is actually, uh, she goes to her boyfriend's baby, no, her baby's father's house, and that's when she learns that he went to Florida and he's not coming back. And so reality sets in that she might be a baby mama. And so then we get back to the house where we have Ian, Ian, Liam, Frank, and Carl all on the couch watching this hip hop music video, something straight off of World Star Hip Hop. And Carl's just like, I mean, the cornrows are fine, but they have like these thick ass baby hairs at the side. And I'm like, only Shameless. So then, of course, everyone's there. You have Kevin, V, which is short for Veronica, and also Fiona's there. And of course, I think Debbie's there as well. Fiona's boyfriend's there, and they they're celebrating him being out, and it's just odd because this is where Nick comes in. I mean, I'm 6'1" or 6'2", and so Nick is this big black guy. Like, if you guys think that I'm black or I'm dark, think of me, but in Africa for a couple of months. So, like, you see how my watch is? Think of that, but like a solid color version of that. And it was just like, so this is your friend? Because Carl asked if his friend could stay over, and Fiona was originally excited because she was like, you have a friend? And he's a kid? And it's like, yeah, no, not what I was imagining. So, as Lip actually comes home, that's when everything breaks up, and so they, Fiona and her boyfriend go fishing, and what ends up happening is they have sex, of course. They're at an aquarium somewhere, and he again addresses her about the whole, so what do you want from your life type of thing. And she thinks about it. So then Lib actually goes to his female professor girlfriend's house, and he beats up her son. At least that's what she's telling him. She's like, because the guy's like, you mean my mom? My mom? Uh, you think that I'm sleeping with my mom type of thing? And so Liv feels embarrassed and he leaves. And so his mom, just remember that his mom, that's what we think. Later in the season, we find out that may not be his mom, or maybe it's like his stepmom or something like that. So then Carl and Fiona are talking, and he's just being himself again because he has to go out, for a bit. And Fiona knows that Carl is up to no good. But actually, no, it's Nick is making his bed because Nick doesn't want to, wherever Carl is, Nick's gonna be type of thing. So Fiona's clearly very uncomfortable with this setup and this situation because she feels like he brought trouble home because Nick was actually in juvie for a long time. We don't know for what. We just know he was there for so long that I think he reached the maximum age, so they just let him out type of thing. So it's like, damn, is that bad? So then after that, we have him going, and he's like, I have to get Carl's back. He doesn't like to take a shower alone, or he likes for someone to do his back for him type of thing. It's just, of course, playing into the stereotypical stuff. And so Debbie is depressed and upset because she finds out that he's not coming back, her baby father. So there's that. And then Frank does the most lewd thing out of the whole episode, not the season or series, because you know this is called Shameless for a reason. Frank has sex with the ground that his girlfriend or ex dead girlfriend is buried under. He's just like, he took his penis out and he started to F the ground. And I'm like, only Frank. And then he finished, and well, no, he wasn't finished, but he was actually masturbating, and he has her underwear, and then the groundskeeper was pretty much took a hose out on him. It was like, what the hell are you doing? You better go, type of thing. So Lip, he's interrupted with his F session. Well, they're done, but his his teacher girlfriend actually comes out and is like, you know what? You know what? What are you doing? Why are you beating up my son? This and that. And it's just like, all right, we get it. We get it. Chill out. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, but we're going to go along with this. This is from my personal opinion. And, you know, after she gets over it and she's like, yeah, my son's a wrestler at Harvard or something like that, he's like, yeah, well, he hit me real good. And of course, they play it off. They're going to be good, but you just know there's complete another BS. Something's really off there. And then the last scene is when they have to get the doorbell because what's her name? Debbie's baby's father's parents are there, and right before that, they look at Nick working out, and they're just like, "Damn, this guy's an animal." So it's like, okay, type of thing. So this is where it's just the fan because oh my gosh, because everyone comes down for this. It was just perfect. They find out that Debbie's actually pregnant because Debbie told Fiona that she's not pregnant. And Carl's like, damn, it's good to be home. So that was it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh, yeah, and the actual final scene was Ian looking at Frank wearing his dead ex-girlfriend's panties because he was like, it makes me feel closer to her. So yeah, that was it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Uh, are you happy that Shameless has come back? Do you like the first episode back? Do you think the season will look good? I think the season will be really regular compared to some of the past ones. It's not just going to be a lot of stunts and shows. So it should be a really good solid season. So again, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be doing a review every week for Shameless. So please come back and let me know if this format was too long or if this format was just right. So yeah, thanks. Oh, subscribe as well.